if it's tough. You have to have some sense of assurance and motivation given to you to progress. Yet, even that, this strength, blessing, yet even that can be given through spirit communication. So here we have somebody who is actually saying this is a spirit communication, or it is a mind communicated through somebody else who says this isn't what I'm writing, this is when I let go. Right? Whether this is true or not doesn't matter, remember. If it's a model that helps you understand and helps you apply yourself to curiosity and self-learning, then fine. Because the main thing is about curiosity and self-learning, not the truth of reincarnation. But if it makes sense to think, well, maybe we are here to learn, and we get our chances, and we either learn now or we get another chance, but you never can't not learn, because you have to learn who you really are in the end of the day. You can't forget forever. See, it's a process of self-remembering, you understand that. If it's self-knowing, the you that you don't know yet is unknown to you, but it's still there. So you're casting your beam of knowing into the darkness to see what's there, what's already there, which is you, which you've forgotten. But you have to get through all of the debris of guilt and angers and hostilities, you know, that you feel so bad about you that you don't want to look at. I haven't got any of them. Well, then the wall has done its job. And don't be mistaken in thinking, well, because I don't experience it, it's not there. Because you yourself know that sometimes you will discover on this path things in you that you didn't think were there, and then you think, oh my goodness, am I doing that? Yes, you are. Comes your mind, if it's being honest. And that's the difficulty, the humility that takes, especially if it's in public. Embarrassment. And what are we frightened of the most? Humiliation. And do you know what? This is why, you see, this is the difficulty. What am I going to say?
Humiliation is first step to humility.
It is.
Oh.
It is, but unfortunately, you see, whatever you're frightened of, and if you're seeking the truth, do you know what's got to happen?
Well, what you're frightened of will happen.
What? Mm-hmm. If you want peace of mind, and you're seeking the truth, you say, why don't I have peace of mind? I want to know the truth. What's going to happen? What you're frightened of, you've got to become unfrightened of. And you know the only way of that? Facing what you're unfrightened of until you're alright with it. That's the very practical, concrete reality. You can't intellectually solve a fear. It just goes under the surface, and you pretend it's not there. And that's the sort of pretense that you can do. Yeah?
Do you mean you've got to have it happen in your life, have a dose of it, the very thing you're terrified
Not necessarily.
It's like swine flu.
Not necessarily. What you have to do within your mind is say, if there's anything that I have as an issue outside of my mind, behind the wall, right, if there is anything I can't see that's affecting me in my life so that I'm not happy and I'm not feeling fulfilled, right, then as a truth seeker I must say, let me know about it, right? And I'm saying normally the way of knowing about it, something you don't know about, is when somebody goes, they poke you, right? And if you've got a real thing about people's poking, you go berserk, you go bananas, you know. What have you learned? That you've got a thing about being poked, you see? A button pushed, right? So if somebody uses a certain word, and they say, did you say bananas? I hate people who say bananas, right? You've learned that you've got a problem about people who say bananas, for God's sake. Very important to realise can be quite precarious words, because people, because people can use the word bananas quite a lot. Especially if a person goes crazy.
Well, they're things to do with the ego, aren't they? Where, we all, the idea you've got of yourself, or somebody punctures it. But what about, really awful things that we would all be terrified of?
What about crucifixion?
Well,
do you fancy a bit of crucifixion?
Take crucifixion, not a bit.
If somebody come knocking on the door, they say, "Hey, we've got a nice bit of crucifixion for you tonight."
Or if I had a feeling inside myself, I'm absolutely terrified I might ever be crucified, would the universe or whatever think, well, I'm going to, give you it so that you can overcome it?
It's a very good question.
Yes.
Right? And it's one I don't have the answer to.
It might not be directly crucifixion as that.
Probably not, because that's sort of died out as far as I know. But something
it could be something that to you would sort of feel like, this would be my crucifixion, and then you might be presented with it.
Right.
So if going down this road,
but just remember, what is the path? Right? What is it that you're trying to do? Right. The path is towards peace of mind, because that's what you want. It's the path to peace of mind, right? And a little bit of happiness and creativity and excitement thrown in. Party, fiesta, a bit of that. All night long.
he's giddy.
Just about.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Right, so you want a bit of those things, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes, we
Just
all do.
all do, right, see? So you're just as giddy with it all. So that's the aim of the path. But the aim of the question is, why don't I have them things? Right? If it's an ordered world, yeah? If it's a machine that all fits together all very nicely and perfectly, but remember, in that world, decisions are made within a communication machine about what to do and say in relationships to one another and the events, So some people can be quite hostile and nasty in their approach to animals, life, the planet, people, right? So if you set out on the pathwork and you've got all those people around, right, what's the pathwork going to do? Suddenly change the planet so that all of those people are never out there being nasty. Yeah? No, it's about how you are in yourself in relationship to those events. Right? So the pathwork will bring you to a point where you know yourself so well that you know what are your issues. Right? And one of the things is that as you get to know your issues, if you get to know your issues without having to be hit round the head by a 2x4 bit of wood from life to say, wake up, right? Because if you're going to seek the truth, life's going to tell you you're not in the truth. So the purpose of it is to make you realise that you're not in the truth. So if you had a fear of crucifixion, right, I would say to you, well, I wouldn't wait around lifetime after lifetime to then eventually get crucified to realise you've got a fear of crucifixion. I would say that if you have a fear of crucifixion, you should be asking yourself, why in a country in this century would I be frightened of being crucified, for God's sake? I must have a bit of a problem or an issue. And far better to investigate that psychotherapeutically than being incarnated and having a crucifixion experience, because somebody's already done that one for you.
Well, yes, but we've already said that that's a thing that's, not a good thing to be.
What I'm saying is lessons learned well.
Gone, but
lessons learned well don't need to be repeated. Do you understand that? Right. But what was that last sentence you said about being gone?
Well, the crucifixion, we picked on a thing that we could say that what you just said, what am I doing? Frightened being that in this century.
It would be a reasonable thing to do.
A reasonable thing, but I mean, for instance, when I started with ear trouble when I was 20 and I felt dizzy all the time, I'd absolutely terrified of dizziness. Absolutely, to me, it was the worst thing that anybody could have. I used to shake all over when I felt dizzy. And I'm still terrified of dizziness. And if God or the universe or whatever said to me, while you remain terrified of dizziness, I'm going to give you more of it until you've overcome it, I would say,
no, what it would say is,
let me run away. I don't want to do anything, that would...
What it would say is you can never have peace while you're terrified.
Well, that's just one of the things I'm terrified
Right,
of.
but stick with that, you see, because how can you ever... when you experience life and you're terrified of things in life, then you're going to be terrified.